There you go.
Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Progressively Yours Health and Wellness Podcast. I'm Dr. Imani.
I'm Jay Bernard.
And together we are very excited about our show tonight. We always are. I mean, if we weren't excited, we wouldn't do this. But we hope you all are having a great week and you have your bottle of water or something, your tea, and you can follow along with us. Ask questions when you get to that part. You certainly can ask questions. But before we get into interviewing our wonderful guest this evening, we always like to start with a little bit of spiritual decompression, and Bernard will lead us in that.
Yes, and we need it tonight with these technologies of computers and trying to get our sound going and video. So I'm going to practice my own method together with you. And I'd like for you, if you wish to join in our meditative moment, to close your eyes. And I would like for you to take in 3 breaths through your nose, in and out, deep and full. And begin just for this 1 minute, focus on your breathing. If it's been a long day, just let everything go so you can be relaxed and enjoy the important information that you're going to receive tonight. So breathe in and out. With each exhalation, begin to let your muscles relax. As we welcome the spirit of the ancestors who join now to be with us, and we have their permission to proceed. We have their loving support, their guidance, and we open our minds and our hearts, our bodies and spirits to their wisdom. One sentence that I want to share for our meditative thought. Mindful walking is a wonderful way to bring together body and mind. It also allows you the additional opportunity to communicate with something outside yourself that is nourishing and healing. The earth.
Love that.
Thich Nhat Hanh, the art of communicating.
All right. Thank
Ashe.
you so much. Ashe.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
That was wonderful. There was a yoga class I used to go to in Virginia Beach. And every now and then we'd have an early morning session with this young lady. And she would have us walking intentionally from heel to toe, just very slowly around the room, not caring who we bumped into or, if we hit a wall, but everyone was moving around the room intentionally, and it was hard. You wouldn't think that would be so difficult, but it was actually a little difficult because we had to totally relax and go from heel to toe on each foot and then heel to toe on the other foot. And it was so peaceful and so strengthening for the body and for the mind.
You show me how to do that?
I just told you how to do it.
I know you told me. I like to demonstrate.
You want to do it together? Okay,
yeah,
we can
that's it.
Yeah. Yes. I think we can practice that together. That'd be nice. So our guests this evening are really, really special to us because water is so very important. I used to teach about water all the time, specifically alkaline water and the benefits to the body. But, our bodies are like 75% to 90% water, depending on the part of the body that you're speaking about. And, the other thing is that not all waters are the same.
Right.
A lot of people say, well, I'll just take my chances with tap water. Well, you just don't know what you're saying when you say you're going to take your chances with tap water. What does that mean? That means you just accept all of the chemicals and runoff and things that are in that the city tap water. And in most places, they'll send you a card that tells you the permissible amount of toxins and things that are bad for you. You can put it on your refrigerator. So, you might start with tap water, but, so anyway, so we're really excited about our guests this evening because they have a phenomenal water that has healing properties in it. And we're going to learn about that this evening. So without any delay, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of background on each of our guests. We have Mr. Mark Taylor and Mr. Lewis Wharton. And so for Mark, after several major traumatic experiences in 2013, his doctor informed him that he had only one option, and that was to recover, and that was surgery. So he underwent some procedure, but it resulted in a staph infection, more surgery, and more health challenges. The combination of back damage and nerve issues left him in excruciating daily pain, and his recourse was regular steroid injections. Wow. In 2018, he had a harrowing experience when he received either a bad batch of epidural steroid shots or an overdose from his doctor. This landed him in the emergency room with a blood sugar level of 944. Yikes. This incident left him with damage to his eyes and skin, and he began to resemble a burn victim. Furthermore, he was diagnosed then with diabetes. Dissatisfied with the conventional medical approach, he embarked on a journey of homeopathic health research. It was during this quest that he stumbled upon a little-known product called deuterium-depleted water. It had substantial scientific backing, and everyone he spoke to had only positive experiences to share after drinking that water. So he decided to give it a try. Within 3 months of incorporating this water into his daily routine, he went for his diabetes checkup. The results were astonishing. His A1C level, which had been a staggering 13, had plummeted to 5.3. His receding hairline had regrown. His oxygen levels were 100%, and his doctors could not believe the transformation. When they asked what he was doing or what was going on, he said, "Hey, I'm just drinking water." So I love that answer. It's just water. His partner, Mr. Lewis Wharton, Lewis says he's been involved in holistic healing since about 2010. He was motivated by the desire to improve his own health and the health of everyone that he came in contact with. He started researching water, and soon he discovered that there were thousands of chemicals in all drinking water. Over the years, his search led him to the discovery of deuterium-depleted water, the most pure water on the earth. I swear, I have never even heard the term I can't even say it. Deuterium-depleted water. So I've just been doing research and learning about this over the past few days. We ordered some water so that we could start drinking it. I feel like I've been on a high ever since drinking this, a good high, not a psychedelic high. But just lots and lots of energy. So before we get to bring them up on screen, we're going to show a little video that gives a lot of details, and then we can talk to Mark and to Lewis, and we can ask questions and really understand what this is all about. Janet, would you please put the video on for us?
Unleash the power of Modern-Life Deuterium-Depleted Water, the ultimate solution for age-related illnesses, weight and wellness, pain and inflammation, Alzheimer's, cancer, diabetes management, hydration, fatigue, and much more. Are you tired of the same old bottled water that promises nothing more than hydration? It's time to elevate your water game with Modern-Life Deuterium-Depleted Water, the game changer your body has been longing for. While regular bottled water may quench your thirst, it lacks the transformative benefits that deuterium depletion brings. Our water is meticulously crafted to remove the harmful deuterium, the silent culprit behind age-related illnesses, excess weight, chronic pain and inflammation, and devastating conditions like Alzheimer's, cancer, and diabetes. Let's talk about the difference. Regular bottled water on the market today fails to address the root causes of these health issues. But Modern-Life Deuterium-Depleted Water goes beyond hydration. It's a holistic solution that targets the very essence of your well-being. Say goodbye to stubborn weight and wellness challenges. Modern-Life Deuterium-Depleted Water optimizes your metabolic function, helping you shed unwanted pounds, boost energy levels, and restore vitality. Experience a renewed sense of well-being as your body finds its natural balance. Are you tired of living with chronic pain and inflammation? Our water is a powerful ally in your battle against discomfort. Deuterium depletion has been shown to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain, giving you the freedom to enjoy life to the fullest. But it doesn't stop there. Modern-Life Deuterium-Depleted Water is a vital weapon in the fight against age-related illnesses. Studies have linked deuterium accumulation to the onset of Alzheimer's, cancer, and diabetes. By depleting deuterium, our water empowers your body's defense mechanisms, helping you manage these conditions and promote overall wellness. Don't settle for mediocre when you can have exceptional. Modern-Life Deuterium-Depleted Water is backed by scientific research and designed to deliver unparalleled results. Every sip you take brings you closer to a healthier, more vibrant life. Join the growing community of individuals who have unlocked the potential of deuterium depletion. Experience the difference that Modern-Life Deuterium-Depleted Water can make in your life. Reclaim your vitality, take control of your health, and embrace a future free from the burdens of age-related illnesses, excess weight, and chronic pain. It's time to rewrite your story. Choose Modern-Life Deuterium-Depleted Water and discover a world of wellness that's within your reach. Don't wait any longer, order your supply today and start your journey to a happier, healthier you. Your body will thank you.
All right. So we'd like to welcome to the stage Mr. Mark Taylor and Louis Wharton. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening to speak with us and our guests. That was so much information. So we're going to break it down and put it, as one of my mentors says, where the goats can get it. So, Mr. Mark, how are you?
I am pretty good. Good evening, guys, and thank you for having me on your show.
You're both welcome, and it's good to meet you, and we'll look forward to having this conversation with you. And as we began, I always like to ask our guests, since we're getting to know you, the audience is also getting to know you. It doesn't matter which one of you go first, but same question is to both of you. Please share with us about who you are. And I always have a specific time period with this question. Who are you when you think about your life from birth to age 12? And just kind of free associate, and whatever parts of your story come to mind that you recall, share with us in the audience.
Well, good evening. My name is Mark, and I'm a little humble, simple guy that always believed that from age 11, I start thinking about health and wellness, what I put into my bodies, and started to, cut out all preservative, nothing in can and all of that stuff. But, little did I know back then, I was very far off from health, because, one chemical, but there's thousands of hidden other chemicals that I was putting into my bodies, and I didn't know. And fast forward today, I went get into my medical ordeal, and that was my wake up call to that teach me that, hey, the things that I was doing was just on the surface, but there are deeper aspects of health and wellness that is there that we don't know, that is hidden from me, and I was still damaging my body because of those dangerous chemicals that I was consuming.
So at age 11, Mark, what was the inspiration? Was there anyone that inspired you to start thinking this way, or how did that come upon you?
So I was drinking Kool-Aid, and when I when I noticed, that my tongue and my entire mouth was the color of the Kool-Aid, I says, well, if my tongue can be stained with this Kool-Aid, what is it doing to my internal organ?
Wow.
And that was the beginning of my health journey. Then it was the preservatives that in canned food. Always is that when I eat the canned food, I was looking like when you throw table salt and frog, how they they swell up and look bumpy and stuff. That's how I was looking. And my parents will always say, take an Advil and it will be better. So I'm like, why am I covering up a symptom? My body is telling me not to consume that thing, but why am I taking another chemical to cover it up so I can feel good? So I made that decision at that early age. I'm not going to eat it anymore because my body's saying that it's not good for me, and so therefore I'm not going to consume it.
Wow, thank you.
At such an early age, you've been wise all your life. That's amazing.
That's a beautiful story.
Most people wait till they're broken down as an older adult, and they say, oh, I got to change things, and they've done all the wrong things for 30, 40, 50 years. So kudos.
Yes, the body is a telephone. That's how I would explain it. The body is a telephone, and it is telling us what is affecting it from a very early age. But we chose not to listen. And the only time we listen is when it's really get worse, when the body starts actually screaming and saying, something is wrong. Something is wrong. I'm telling you something is wrong 5 years ago, but you're not listening. Now something is wrong. And that's when we start listening.
That's right.
Louis, you're nodding in affirmation. Join in and share with us the first 12 years of your life, kind of free associate as Mark just did, and let us know who you are.
Oh, yes. So I was a wreck all my life until in my late 50s, until it caught up with me. I was just too busy running, eating fast food, junk food. I never paid attention to what I ate. I ate everything and ate a lot. I'm surprised I wasn't big as a house, but I burned it off because I had a high metabolism. Then when I got older, the weight started packing on. My breathing started being affected, and I started slowly going downhill in my mid to late 50s. And that's when I started paying attention because I could barely move. I mean, my energy was gone. I didn't know why. I just thought I was getting old. And I had given up until I went and had my eyes examined, and the iridologist looked and said, your body is full of chemicals. And I said, well, how did they get in there? Said, probably something you're eating. And that's what started me on a search. And everything I was doing, I started changing. The drinking water and the food. I stopped eating McDonald's and the fast food places. So it took about 6 months, and with no doctors, because they couldn't find out what was wrong with me, and just on my own, just cutting back, changing a little bit of the eating. It was actually the food that was killing me. And then, that's what it was. Go ahead.
Wow. No, it just makes me think of, there was a video that I've often told people about. It's called Eating the Rave Diet. And the rave is like an acronym, R period, A period, V period, E period. And it's but one of the lines in that, and it's all about eating natural foods, foods that are good for the body. Right. And one of the lines in there was that eating is the most popular form of unassisted suicide. And it's like, ooh, when you hear that, it makes so much sense. It's like, what are we doing? We're eating ourselves to death. So, I mean, but one of the things to fix what's going on with our bodies is the water. So tell us your water stories. Mark, how did you come upon the deuterium depleted water? And you can explain what that all means too.
So deuterium is an isotope of hydrogen, and it is bonded to hydrogen like a metal band around another metal. So it's locked. It's one of the strongest bond in the natural hydrological chemical affairs. So it is bonded so tightly that there's no filter that can actually remove the deuterium separated from hydrogen. And so it's an isotope of hydrogen, and then you have oxygen and trillium and all the other stuff that comes into the water. So, and that is deuterium. We knew about deuterium since 1932. Some American scientists discovered that there is just not oxygen and hydrogen into the water. There is something that is more dangerous than they ever imagined. They couldn't figure out what to name it, so they settled on deuterium. And you would believe that a product that is widely used in the industrial world, the general population would be aware and know of deuterium, but it's still being taught in school that water is H2O, and no one mentioned anything about deuterium. Unless you're a scientist and you're researching, then you will discover deuterium and what it is. But the government has been using deuterium worldwide in every single nuclear plant there is. They use deuterium oxide to cool the nuclear plants. They also put the deuterium oxide into medication that you consume. And one would ask themselves, now, why would anyone in their right mind put deuterium oxide in the medication that we're consuming? And in their defense, they say, well, it is to keep the medication, stabilize the medication for a longer shelf life. But in reality, it's to keep our body in balance so that our body is not able to heal itself, so that they can constantly put those band-aid over the symptom and have us coming back and back and back until we suffer and suffer and suffer and eventually dies.
Yeah. What does deuterium do to what's bad about deuterium? Because I understand the depletion, you're taking it out. What's bad about it?
So deuterium is the highest at 6%, is the highest concentrated contamination in our bodies.
Wow.
The most contamination in our bodies, hands down, is deuterium. So what deuterium does in our bodies, and not just our bodies, but it does it in the plants and in animals. So it's a very widespread. And I call it the limiter. It limits us. And so what it does, it tries to mimic oxygen and hydrogen. So by doing so, it enters the cells and it blocks the oxygen and hydrogen from entering the cells. Now, if that was the only issue, that was fine. But because the deuterium is twice as heavy as the hydrogen, what it does, it breaks the cell. And the better word for it is the mitochondria. And it breaks the mitochondria. So the mitochondria now stop producing enough adenosine phosphorides, ATP. And by producing less adenosine phosphorides, now the body has less energy, less fight against these radical diseases. Because it's just like a car. If the car you're driving does not have the right gas into it, you're not going nowhere. Understand? Because it's not producing enough energy to propel that car forward. It's the same thing happened to our body. Our mitochondria is the engine of our bodies.
Right.
And so when those engines are not performing properly and not producing the energy that we need, which is ATP, adenosine phosphoride, we're not going nowhere. We're sluggish. We have all these illnesses that plague us because the body is not strong enough to fight against them. So now they take charge. They take over. And hence the reason why we turn 40 is we don't have the energy no more. It's not that we don't have the energy or that we're old. Is that we're killing off ourselves, and our cells start producing the energy that we need, and therefore we don't have the energy. So we say, so we're getting old without understanding the cause behind it. So our question is, we should be asking why? And a lot of us is not asking that question.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm. Well, a lot of people just think it's because they're getting older. It's like, it's like a fact that once we hit our 40s, things start breaking down. And people just accept that. And so, we have something that will help us to change our thinking around that, right? With this water. How did you first discover? And I don't want to leave you out of the discussion, Louis. Jump in. I want you to.
No, it's okay. Mark's the expert.
How did you decide to join forces with Mark, Louis?
Well, let me tell you what happened. A friend of Mark's said, I have this friend in Florida that's got this water. And Louis, I know you excited about water. And so when I called him, we just had a casual conversation. And when he told me he was able to get the deuterium down to 5 parts per million, I was floored, because that's, like I said, that's unheard of. 125, but not 5. I mean, I had heard of 85, and that was low. And and once he explained to me how he did it, I said, oh, we're going to be partners. I said, because you're doing something that no one else is doing. And this is just amazing. I want to get involved. And that's what happened. I mean, I wasn't going anywhere once I found out he had 5 parts per million.
Wow.
And this was what year that the two of you
last year?
Last year.
Wow.
I looked at some records. It was October of 2022, a year ago, exactly a year ago.
Exactly a year ago.
Wow.
So I saw on a video, it said that that wellness really begins at like 133 parts per million deuterium parts in your water. And so you're saying you got it down to 5 parts per million. Okay, so that's why I've been flying for the past 2 days. It's like, what's going on? I got all this energy. I just, I mean, wow.
Make a distinction between those two numbers for us and for the audience.
What does it mean?
So when you're down to 5 parts per million, especially if you're drinking the water straight, you're increasing your energy almost 6 times. The minute you get below 130 parts per million in your body, your energy increased 4 times already. Okay. So you can imagine your current energy level, and you're increasing that 4 times once your body depletion get below 130. That's remarkable, and that's the reason why at 130 you don't experience all of those disease and illness and weakness and fatigue that you are currently experiencing at 155 parts per million in your body. Wow. So our water is one of the lowest concentration. Our lab test 2.7 parts per million deuterium. Our bottle labeled 5 parts per million as a buffer to because it goes up and down. But at 5 parts per million, the oxygen and hydrogen gets to enter the cell. So by entering the cell, you're now creating more adenosine phosphorides. And instead of breaking your mitochondria every 15 minutes, you're actually now producing more adenosine phosphoride, more energy. I'm not sure if you can hear, but behind me, every 15 seconds, there's a pop going on. It's like a thunder in the distillation column. And that thunder is every single time it hits one of those isotopes, the deuterium isotopes, it's just like you would hear a thunder in the sky. It's the same thing happening into those columns. It explodes because it is heavier, and so once it hit that that certain stage in that column, you hear that explosion, pop, 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 and that is what happening to our bodies. Every 15 seconds, the deuterium hits our mitochondria blade, and it breaks it. It stutter. And when it stutter and keep stuttering, eventually that blade got broken. And once that broken, the cell commits suicide. We call it apoptosis, and die, because the cell rather kills itself than to create a damaged cell. When it duplicates itself, create a damaged cell that it eventually turns into something that we don't want, which is, cancers or something else.
Wow.
Well, how does it impact just our health overall? You're mentioning mitochondria. What about other aspects of our bodies in terms of like telomeres, for example? Can you address? And that's just one example that comes to mind.
So because you're fixing the mitochondria, the micro level of the cell, we're correcting the errors at the cellular level. It doesn't matter what it is that you're facing. For example, I had, when I got my overdose with epidural steroid back in 2013, my eyes was really blurred. And I just spraying that water in my eyes and on my skin, that literally removed the burn faster than anything else. Understand? So those are the benefit, because you're dealing with it from the microcellular level, and that is how you fix 99% of illnesses that we face. Because you have to understand that the deuterium depletion, as I said, doesn't do anything, doesn't heal anything, right? Our body does. Our body had the ability to heal itself. All we needed was to give it the tools, the right tools to do so. And by removing the deuterium concentration out of our body, we give the body back the innate ability to heal itself. Understand? And that is the simplest way that we use deuterium. Like, this is a tea, right? But do you know that just putting the tea bag into the deuterium depleted, it extract all the nutrient from the tea bag into the water without any heat at all.
Wow.
That is what it's doing to your cell, because it's so light, and there's no impediment in the water. It goes directly into the cell, and that's the reason why you feel that energy so fast when you drink the water straight.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm glad you said that, because when I had my first bottle a few days ago, I immediately, not only my energy, but it was as light as a feather. Now, we have a Kangen machine, and the Kangen machine, the water, when I first started drinking that, I could tell it was light,
it's 9.5.
different than, bottled water that people purchase out of the store. Definitely not the tap water. But when I this is lighter than the Kangen machine, and I was like, I almost can't taste it. It's so clean, pure, and light. And so what I hear you saying is that because it's so light, and once it enters into our bodies, it can work even quick. It works quicker on a cellular level and begin the healing processing that our body is doing for itself. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. You give the body the innate ability that it needs in order to heal itself.
Louis, you're nodding. What are you thinking as you're hearing your partner share with us? What thoughts are running through your mind?
Well, the thoughts that are running through my mind are everything that I started reading in this book by Gabor Somalia, I think how you pronounce his last name. Mark didn't even know that book existed. He said, "There's a book?" And I said, "Yes, I'm going to send it to you." Where they did in 1999 clinical trials on dogs, cats, and humans. And so that book is phenomenal. It's a lot
I
of
ordered
technical
it,
data,
yeah.
but you just need to read the easy part, then you'll get it.
You
Yeah,
said we
so
just
that's
need to
why
read the
every
letter,
time I
lost
hear
the
this
word.
over and over.
Yeah. So, what
Yes.
what what would you say is the theme of that text, Lewis, that excites you about the book? What's the theme?
Well, what I did was I went to the table of context, and it's broken down into chapters, and so you just not even reading the book, just looking at what you see in the book is phenomenal. When you look at the topics that they're discussing, it's exciting. Even before you read the first page of the book, just to know that kind of research was available somewhere. And I don't, since then they've been doing more research, but to my knowledge, no one else has done a clinical trial since that. To my knowledge, if it exists, I haven't seen it, because clinical trials are very expensive and time consuming. So nobody wants to spend that kind of money on research. I'm glad one person did, because it's made all the difference in the world when you look at the research. Now it's documented. Now it's not saying, "Oh, it's just a testimony. I felt better." When anybody could feel better, you can, some people can eat a hamburger and feel better, even if it's not, it just produced some energy. So, but to really, really look at what this is doing in your body, and then look at the clinical trials and the testimonies. I saw a company that had 125 parts per million, and that was astounding to him. He started having these conference calls, I think once a month, and people were giving testimonies. He had a 2 or 3 page list of the different things that people were experiencing, and it was just amazing to see that many different things. Floaters in the eyes, diabetes, numerous cases of cancers, and just on and on and on. And that's why I was so excited when Mark said 5 parts. I'm thinking, if we can get results at 125, can you imagine how much more we're going to get with 5? And so I just, every day I wake up, I have to pinch myself to be able to say that no one's got a plant in the United States on U.S. soil making this water at that level.
Wow.
Yeah. Was there a question?
Yeah, Janet has some questions for us, and so let's get the audience involved. So, Janet, just bring the questions that you have, and we'll let I guess Mark and Lewis respond.
There's one there from my good friend Rose Lee, aka Ethel Lou. What's the name of the book again, Lewis? I actually ordered it the other day. It hasn't come yet, but what's the name of it?
It's Defeating Cancer: The Biological Effect of Deuterium Depletion.
Wow.
And I should have had the book in my hand. I could have had the book and held it up, but they could always call it. Yeah, and get
We made a copy of it and have it on our Linktree link. We also have it into a PDF copy and a audio copy as well on our Linktree link, so people can
they can see it,
listen to it or read through it. There's a lot of other information on that Linktree link, which the academic and non-academic publication on the deuterium depletion from the scholars that it's called deuteromics. That is the new science that on deuterium depletion. What they do is to study the different illnesses that they use deuterium to defeat, like Alzheimer's, seizures, diabetes, cancer, lungs issues, heart issues. The list goes on and on. So read up a little bit of, on deuteromics, and you'll be blown away of the science that is out there, that the mainstream or do not really want to put out there, because it's gonna be a Uber. What Uber does to the taxi industry,
Mm-hmm.
that is what deuterium is to these pharmaceuticals companies, because people are realizing that they are there is a different a better solution than the synthetic oil that we call medication. And we don't need it. I asked to ask my doctor when I just started this thing. He wanted to put me on a statin, and I said to him, I'm not taking that thing. I mean, it's bad enough that I was taking metformin.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, you need it because you have diabetes, you're gonna have heart issues and all of this stuff. I says, would you ever take that? Would you ever take that for yourself? He looked at me like I'm stupid. But he never answered, because he know that he will, because he sees all of the trauma that his patient come inside there with by taking all of those crude oil, and he see all the side effects, so he will never take it. Understand? So I asked him again, will you ever consume that? No. But 3 months later, he asked me, why your A1C dropping like a rock, and you look like a fit person more than anything else. I was like, I'm drinking water. I told you what I was drinking, but you ignored what I was saying. 3 years later, he's like, so what about the water that you say you're drinking again? Tell me something about it. Right now, he's bringing in like $7,000 in commission every month from referring the water to his patients.
What?
Understand? Because
wake up call.
Yes, understand. Because when I told him, I says, listen, you told me about my cholesterol. I have to watch my cholesterol. I says, there is no research in the world of all these medical books. There's no research that ever shows that someone die because of high cholesterol. Because I said, the reason why the cholesterol cholesterol go up is because the body's trying to fix the damage that your metformin is creating.
Wow.
And hence the reason why my cholesterol went up high. The minute you get all those metformin, my cholesterol went all the way back down.
Wow.
Understand? So we have to start asking the question why, and because the body never make a bad thing.
Right. So we have. Sorry.
So how does this water differ from alkaline water?
And it is alkaline, isn't it? It says 9.5.
Yeah. So the water is bottled at 9.5. But just by the process, it's naturally alkalized. But the alkaline water is alkaline or alkalized. Because you have to, the difference between that is that the big manufacturer will put baking soda into their water and call it alkaline water. But alkalized water is because we go through a fractional distillation, a reverse osmosis, and electrolysis, and fractional distillation rectification process. By the time we mineralize the water, it becomes alkalized. So it alkalizes in the electrolysis phase, and then after we mineralize it, then it gets alkalized again. So the difference between alkaline water and our water is that our water is the top superior. There's nothing higher than the thorium depletion, because we're removing all the contamination from the water. A regular bottled water, if you test it, that says alkalized or alkaline water, you will find that their parts per million dissolvable, they're talking about 200, 230, 300. It is way off up there. So we're talking about contamination on top of contamination and top of contamination, because what they're doing is put another chemical to cover up another chemical to cover up another chemical. Understand? Our water doesn't have none of that into it. It's pure, clean water without the deuterium as well.
So Denise is asking, Denise Creekmore, another good friend. Last question was by my sister Arlene. I like to call out names just to acknowledge them for participating in the show. Denise is asking, can you cook with this water?
Yes, you can cook with it, but it's very expensive water. So
Right now,
so
wasted on cooking. But
yeah, so like soup and tea and you're making your tea, you're making soup. It's okay to use those to make your soup. The other day I was making some steamed fish and I used the water to steam the fish. It's the best fish ever. But you can like potatoes and pasta and all those stuff. You don't necessarily need to use the water to cook those stuff. But like for soup that you're making your soup, yeah, especially for people that are have these illnesses that trying to beat these illnesses, it's best that they use the water to make their soup and their tea, because you have to understand that the food itself has deuterium into it. The more water you consume is going to be the better for us, because our body is almost 97% water. So if we replenish that water, the bad water, with good water, we get our deuterium concentration down. Once we get our deuterium concentration down, our
Lewis, how much of this water do you consume per day?
I drink about 4 bottles, sometimes 6, around there.
Of the 16 fluid ounce? What
Mhm.
Yeah, people want us to make gallons and half gallons, but it would be
yeah,
not only
it's
very expensive, right?
very expensive.
Do you mix it with any other water, or you just drink it straight all of the time?
Sometimes I drink it straight, and sometimes I mix it. I've mixed it with distilled water or reverse osmosis water. Never tap water, because the chemicals are just off the chart.
So how do you measure the amount? So if you took a gallon of water, and how much
Clean
of this
source
water,
of water.
how much would you mix it from this?
I've been mixing 2 bottles to a gallon.
Okay, because we were doing half a bottle. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we were being stingy with it because we didn't have that much. Now we just got 24 bottles from you all, so we may be a little bit more generous with it ourselves. Something that's
2 bottles to a gallon. Okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah. Arlene is asking, most oncologists would never sit down in a chair and let someone connect them to chemotherapy machine. They know it's toxic. So it's the same thing you're saying. You asked your doctor about the other drug. We don't have to mention it.
yeah, they won't. They will not do it because they experience that every single day with their patients.
Right.
They know what their patient is undergoing. And I have a doctor came on at a show with him. I forgot his name, and he says that when he realized that he's start depending on becoming his patient, it scares him, and he started looking into holistic medicine.
Wow.
Because you will never take those medication that you was prescribing to his own patients. Understand? It will never do it. And that's the honest truth. I mean, you're not really going to find a lot of them doctors going to tell you that, well, this is the honest truth. They're not, because it's a business for them.
Right.
So they're not going to do it.
Arlene is asking how much it costs, and we generally don't give prices on the show, but we do have a link for people who want to try it. And there's information on the site. So Janet, if you could there's a link to try it as a customer. There's a link to actually come on board as a VIP affiliate. If you're just so moved by this and say, I got to get that and I got to get it out to other people. So there's 2 links, and this one here is to register as an affiliate. The tinyurl.com/lotusflower DDW. And then you would just use your own affiliate coupon to check out to get a discount on your particular order. And so if you want to just try the product, it's the same tinyurl.com/try DDW. And then you use the coupon code LotusFlower at checkout. So you have two options. You can try it. And on the website, you'll see the video that we showed earlier. You'll see other information available. And then you can also, for people who've been referred to this show by other people who are already involved with the water, get back to who referred you to this show, because we're not trying to get people to sign up with us in particular, but we're real excited about this, and we want to make sure that people know how to get it. And you all had a link if people had questions about the science and the company and all of that. We can put that link back up again. Louis, you look like you wanted to say something.
No, I didn't. I'm just listening.
You're good. Someone asked, how fast I think that was Denise again. How fast do you see results from the water?
So in I would say in a couple minutes you'll start seeing the result. You start seeing the energy, because that's the first thing everyone experience, is that boost of energy that they get like right away. It's just like this tea here.
Right.
I mean, I know a lot of people were, demonstrating, for example, your Kagan guy. And it's one of the things that they demonstrate of how their water pulls the nutrient out of the tea. Do you ever see a color like this?
Never saw it that dark. Nope.
No, never.
Yeah.
Ours is 4 times darker because it's pulling 4 times more nutrient out of the tea, and we're putting more oxygen into the cells and more hydrogen into the cells. And that's the reason why when you go to the doctor, they put that thing on your finger, you're gonna always be 100% oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
And always, and that shows that how much oxygen is going to your body. So yes, you start feeling that energy right away. Based on, if you're just looking for energy, you will get the energy right away. If you have illnesses that you're trying to defeat, the minute you bring your deuterium depletion level below 130, you're going to see amazing results. 140, you always seen a lot of results from at 140, but 130, you've seen amazing results. And that's not just me saying that, but the international science at the International Deuterium Depletion Congress agrees on that wholeheartedly.
Rose is asking, how long does it take to receive the product? I think people are getting anxious now. It's like, I want it. How fast can I get it?
So we use UPS ground shipping to ship the product out. So it will become between 3 and 5 business days after you place your order. We ship your product out.
Is there a way? I'm sure it is. Can you share with us how we can measure the deuterium levels in our body?
Yeah, that's right. That's a good question.
So at the Center for Depletion, deuterium depletion, there you can order a test kit, and they will send you a small test kit that you put your saliva in, and you send it back to them. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks to get that results back to you. And once you get that result, you know what your deuterium depletion level is. But if you never drinking deuterium depleted water, it's guaranteed that the contamination, the deuterium level in your body, is 150 to 155 parts per million.
Wow.
Especially if you're a drinker, if you love coffee, if you love sweet stuff, your deuterium level is about 155 parts per million.
Does that number go up as we age? So are children generally, do they have a lower amount of deuterium in their systems versus someone who's 60 or 70?
No.
No. Really?
No. What happened is as a kid, you have millions of cells in your body, and they're producing enough adenosine phosphoride, and that's the reason why you're like, Jesus Christ, kid, you got so much energy, slow down. Understand?
Right.
Yeah, because they have so much deuterium, they are adenosine phosphorides pumping into their bodies. Okay. So they have all the energy for that. But as they grow older, and past the age of growing up, and now they start growing out, because now the thorium now start making you grow out and start damaging those cells more and more. The energy level goes down and down and down. So when you're at 60, 70, you barely have enough cells to feed your brain, much less all the other organs in your body. Then you start really seeing the damage of the thorium.
Mm-hmm.
We have about 4 minutes remaining. 3, as I'm looking at the clock.
Oh, wow.
I'd like
so
for both
fast.
of you to, when we sign off, don't go away. We'd like to talk with you after the show finish taping. But prepare a thought that you like to share with the audience, the takeaway that you would like for the audience to take with them as they leave the show tonight.
Well, my takeaway always is, self-educating ourselves on our health. And that means start dating our health.
Mm-hmm.
You get up in the morning, you just don't run to the door and ignore yourself and ignore your health. Start dating your health. And by educating yourself on the food that we consume, because the things that we consume is what killing us. We're not because my parents have diabetes and my grandparents have diabetes, so I'm gonna get diabetes. Wrong.
Right.
Is the food that we consume. Our parents consume the same thing, or our grandparents consume the same thing, and we continue consuming the same thing, and that's the reason why we have it. And one of the main thing for diabetes is that the flour and the sugar. The sugar is because of the pesticides that they use to spray the cane we're consuming, and the flour is the pesticide that they use to bleach the flour. And that's the reason why we have, most of us, as diabetes, and it's one of the diabetic is one of the like a pandemic right now.
Right.
And so if we start understanding what we're putting into our bodies, then we can change the effect of these disease dramatically.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And thank you for that. Louis, your last parting words?
Yeah, my last parting words are, I talk to a lot of people every day, from usually early in the morning till, sometimes past 11. I had a girl at my house at midnight the other night. And I'm finding out something that Mark told me was very true. There's only going to be about 1% of the people that want to hear what you have to say. The rest think, well, I've been doing without it for all my life. I don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to look for that 1% that want just a little bit better health, and they want to be informed. And that's it. That's my takeaway. Make people think. Okay.
Because dying is a must, but suffering is optional. So we don't have to suffer.
I love that. Thank you.
Say that again, Mark. Say that again.
That was good.
Dying is a must, but suffering is optional.
Is optional.
And we're in control of that.
Yes, we are in control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the divine light within us to help us transform our lives, and we have the necessity of water such as yours that can help the body heal itself, or the body heals itself with the support of the water that you have to provide for us.
Right. And with
That's true.
With that, we have to say good night, and thank you so much for coming on. Of course, we're going to be in touch because we love the water, and we're going to be sharing it with other people as well. People can get in touch with us, and I don't know if we have time to put the links back up again. But Janet, if you could, try the water, try the product. The link is there. And we will be talking to you all. Please stay on. We have to, the show is just an hour, but please stay on, and we have a little debriefing. But to our guests and people who have tuned in, thank you so much. And we look forward to following up with each of you.
And join us next week.
Thank you, guys.
Another wonderful show, and we'll have another outstanding guest or guests to be with us. It is for the ancestors that we are here, and they are proud of what we're doing tonight. Ashe.
Ashe.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Amen.